You may be seated. Oh, you already did that. All right. So good morning, Shabbat Shalom. So some of you have noticed over the last 5-6 weeks that it looks like I haven't been feeling great. And it's because I haven't been feeling great. Been doing the best I can. I'm very glad to be here. And I'm basically overall okay. And I thought I'd just share a couple things just for the just to be transparent. So I'm doing fine. I can pretty much do everything that I've been able to do, which, to be honest, wasn't that much to start with. So there wasn't really much of a reduction. But I have a new abnormal that I've been dealing with. Certain challenges. I don't really love the phrase new normal, but it's my new abnormal, and I'm dealing with it fine, and it's okay. And if you want all the details, I can tell you later. I just wouldn't do it while you're eating. Also, by the way, if you have a weird medical thing from 20 years ago that you feel that you need to share with me, feel free not to. Don't really want to hear about your lumbago. I don't want to hear about that weird thing that all of us... Like, if you're struggling with something now, I am all ears. But if you think that I need to hear your thing from 25 years ago, I do not. So, overall, physically, I'm fine. I'm not going to be here the next couple weeks because I scheduled the time off. I tried to schedule my vacation around the anniversary of my bar mitzvah portion, so no one asks me to do it. Physically, it's all coming along, and fine. But I'm going to be honest, like emotionally and spiritually, it hasn't been easy. This was all kind of weird and kind of fast. And this Torah portion that we read this week, though, was actually very comforting to me. And I'm going to share why. It's the verse that I found comforting was actually in a very peculiar verse. So the Torah portion is Korach, and Korach rebels against Moses' leadership. And Korach says to Moses, "Well, who made you leader?" And Moses is like, "Oh, God. Yeah, it was God." And Korach is like, "Well, that's not good enough." And so Moses says, all right. Now, by the way, what Moses could have done is said, "Aaron, can I borrow your staff for a minute?" And he could have just solved the problem right there. But he didn't. Moses is very humble, and he wants to make sure that he's handling everything in the right way. So he says, "Tomorrow morning, bring your fire pans with you." These are the things that were used in the tabernacle for bringing like sacrifices, things like incense, things that need to be burned. They were metal fire pans. Moses said, "I'm going to bring mine, you bring yours, and whoever is supposed to be the leader, God will choose." And so it happens the next day, and it's very clear that Moses is supposed to continue on being the leader, and that Korach and his followers, their fire pan offerings were not accepted. And then this is the peculiar passage. It says, "Eight machtot hachataim ha'ela benafshotam v'asotam rekuei pachim tzipui lemizbeach ki hikrivum lifnei Adonai v'yikdoshu v'yihu la'ot livnei Yisrael." So you would have expected that the fire pans that Korach and the others used would be discarded. Right? They were used for the wrong purposes. They were used for ego. But instead, the Torah says, take those fire pans and hammer them into sheets and use them as plating for the mizbeach, for the altar. Because once they have been used as an offering, they are sacred. Now, this was very powerful to me, that once something is consecrated, once something is sacred, it is always sacred no matter what. And one of the signs that it says here for the Jewish people is that to understand that we don't throw away things that had been sacred. They are always sacred, and they are always there. And we shouldn't get rid of them. Instead, we should say, no one can make something sacred less sacred because of their actions. And so the overall idea is that something created for the sake of holiness retains its holiness at all times. There is no such thing as a sacred vessel that becomes not sacred. And the part that resonated with me is that all of us, all people are sacred vessels. We were all created in holiness. And sometimes I find when people have been traumatized, or people have been mistreated or abused or discarded, they feel less than. They feel no longer holy, no longer worthy of blessing. And this happens, it doesn't have to be a person who harms you. It could be illness. It could be injury. There are people I know that intellectually we know it's not our fault. But sometimes in our kishkas, we blame ourselves. And we feel less than, that we feel somehow we deserve what happens to us. And what I think the Torah is trying to teach us is that when you are holy, you are always holy, and to never forget that piece. And we are created from the minute we are born as sacred vessels, both physically, but also spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, that no matter what happens to us, we never lose that sense of holiness. So my overall message, not just for you, but for myself, because I really needed this Torah portion as a reminder, is never let anyone take away your sense of holiness. Holiness means that you are infinitely worthwhile. They should never be discarded or forgotten. But also, don't take that away from yourself either. Every morning when we wake up, most people are familiar with the I am grateful prayer of Moda Ani or Moda Ani. But there's another prayer that really resonates, is Elohai hanashama shenatata bi tahorahi. That God, the soul within me is pure. That our bodies are pure, that our souls are pure, our hearts are pure. Never forget that. Don't let others take it away from you, and don't take it away from yourself. Shabbat Shalom.